A lot of the time, men view women as mysterious. Their behavior is confusing and can be baffling. However, women's behavior isn't that mysterious. Let's go over some facts about female behavior. Tend or befriend. We've all heard of the famous fight or flight response. Whenever we're faced with danger or something intimidating, we'll either resort to running away or fighting due to adrenaline being released. However, the University of California discovered women have a different way of dealing with stress. They use the tend or befriend response. Essentially, women are more likely to form alliances to try and deal with stressful situations, instead of using physical aggression or fleeing. Relying on nonverbal cues. Another key difference between men and women is how they communicate. Men are direct and rely on verbal cues and other forms of speaking to gather information. Women, however, rely more on things like body language. For example, if a woman asks a man a question and the man says nothing and has a blank facial expression, the woman will be annoyed. This is also why women are more likely to use emojis when texting than men. They are more non-verbally expressive than their male counterparts. Risk-taking with age. As men get older, they show more of a desire to settle down and raise a family. Women, however, are the exact opposite. There is the perception that young women are the risk-takers, whereas older women are calmer and more laid back. There is some truth to this, but older women are more likely to take risks with things like their careers or adventurous things with their bucket list. So far, we've gone over some facts delving into the psychology of women, things like how they're more non-verbally communicative and differences in behavior between men and women. We've just barely scratched the surface though. Be sure to keep watching. Women are far more intuitive. From an early age, females are better than men at detecting exactly how a person is feeling based on their facial expressions and other nonverbal cues. We've already established that women tend to communicate more through these nonverbal means than men, but they're also better than men at detecting them. That's why it can seem like women are mind readers. They're just better than males at figuring out what someone is thinking and feeling through their emotional intelligence. Women are easily turned off. When it comes to being physically turned on, men and women are worlds apart. Men are relatively easy to arouse. Women, however, are a lot more sensitive than men. For women to be aroused, everything has to be perfect. If work was rough or she's stressed about something, women will reject a man's physical advances. Something as simple as the weather could be enough to get a woman out of the mood. That's why foreplay is so important for women. Better long-term memory. There are some hard biological differences between men and women. One of these differences is how women are far better at remembering things long-term when compared to men. This is why girls can remember something seemingly small from a long past argument, whereas the man will simply forget something seemingly so insignificant. Women aren't more emotional than men. There's a common stereotype that women tend to be more emotional than men. Although yes, there are some hard psychological differences between men and women, there isn't any basis for one being more emotional than the other. Women deal with stress differently than men. Like we've said, they utilize the tend or befriend response instead of physically fighting a threat. This doesn't equate to being more emotional though. Men can be just as emotional as a woman. It all depends on the specific circumstances.